Are the top three most common questions that I get when working with tenants. The first always is about rent control. A lot of people don't really understand what rent control is. I get questions: does this building have rent control? It's not about the building. It's about the date when it was first occupied for residential purposes, which essentially can be the date when it was built. So anything after November 2018, no rent control. Anything before November 2018, there is rent control. So the government sets out the maximum amount that a landlord can increase the rent every year, and it coincides with inflation in most cases. And rent can only be increased once per year. The second question is about post-dated checks. So post-dated checks are not certified in any way. They're just pre-written for future dates. They can only be deposited on the date that they're pre-written for, and they can always be canceled. However, under the Residential Tenancies Act, post-dated checks cannot be demanded by a landlord. However, they can be requested, and as a tenant, you may comply with that. You may not comply with that. Ultimately, it's up to you. And the third is the last month's rent. So when you start a tenancy, you're paying first and last upfront. The last month rent applies to the last month of the physical tenancy, not the last month of the lease. So if you sign a 1-year lease and you continue month to month after that lease ends, that last month rent doesn't go to the 12th month. The landlord holds on to that, and then that applies to whenever you do actually terminate. And of course, to terminate your tenancy, you do need to provide 60 days notice. I'd love to know what questions you have so I can answer them. Let me know below.